Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another beer review. We're going to revisit a West Coast classic. And I'll just be honest with you guys, this is my favorite West Coast shelf beer. At least in San Diego. This is probably not a shelf beer everywhere, but for me, this is my favorite shelf beer. And it is the one and the only Swami's IPA from Pizza Pour Brewing Company. This can and label art, or the can art, is awesome. This is a 6.8% alcohol by volume India Pale Ale brewed by Pizza Pour. This is, does it say? Been brewing Swami's IPA for over 20 years. I think they came up with this recipe in 1987, which is crazy when you think about it. Like, what was beer like in 1987? Were you drinking West Coast style IPAs? I don't know. But yeah, this is, like I said, it's my favorite shelf beer. I just figured the last couple years, craft beer's kind of been taken over and ruined by hazy, juicy beers, and West Coast IPA is kind of forgotten. And I wanted to drink this and see what it's like these days and kind of talk about it and see how we think about it. So, or see how we think about it, see what we think about it. It is, as soon as I crack that, just an enormous amount of dankness went in my nose. I love that. So we're gonna be using our Answer OG Yoshi glass. I don't have any Pizza Port glassware. I don't know why I've never gotten Pizza Port glassware, I just haven't. This was canned on January 18th. So we are 3 weeks old, time of recording. Hashtag Team Old IPA. No. This is like an awesome golden, it probably looks darker on camera, maybe not. It's like it's a rad, like golden color, fluffy 2 fingers of Whitehead. Yeah, it looks red on camera for whatever stupid reason. It might be just be me behind it. I don't know if we can get this. See how it looks over here? It's like a cool golden kind of straw yellow. But yeah, it's super carbonated. That head is so fluffy, you could just take a spoon and scoop it out. Looks awesome. In that Yoshi glassware. So yeah, like I said, I mean, everyone these days, it seems like everyone wants, it's Haze Bros. And there's no more respect for the OGs like Swami's and Pliny and all those beers that I so dearly love. So shove our nose in this one. Yeah, this, it's so dank, which is awesome. There's massive amounts of grapefruit and grapefruit peel. There's this killer, like earthy, grassy, piney. There's even like that like lemon lime zesty thing, and it's got a good amount of like those sweet kind of sugary, it's, I don't know, what do you say, sweet sugary malts that kind of balance out all that crazy intense dankness. This is a West Coast beer. If you just got into craft beer like a year ago and all you've been drinking is hazy beers, you would probably smell this and be like, what is this? There's even like a little bit of like sweet orange, but this is just so over the top dank, piney, pithy, zesty citrus peel. It's crazy. Like, this smells like when I got into craft beer. This reminds me of moving to San Diego at the end of 2010. Like, this reminds me of when I first started drinking really hoppy beers. Like, I never did before I moved here, and I started visiting breweries and got really into like I loved grapefruit forward beers. And this was one of the beers when I first had it. I was like, this is one of the best beers I've ever had. So let's go and taste it. Cheers. The carbonation on this is crazy. It's so prickly going across my tongue, but the taste follows the nose. Like, this is the epitome of West Coast IPA. It is crazy. Like I said, dank resin, all those kind of weed notes that you would use for beer. That's on the finish of this. It digs into your tongue. It's aggressive. It makes no apologies. There's a huge amount of grapefruit, orange, like peel mid palate to finish. And up front, it's like all those intense citrus flavors. And it's got a little bit of like, it's not fruity like you would think, hazy fruity, but it's got like this cool little tropical fruitiness to it, like right on the front of your tongue. Like, people talk about like IBUs and beers and bitterness. I don't know what the IBUs on this beer is, but since it's brewed in this style, I think it's lending to that finish that you get on your tongue. If you've had OG Stone beers, OG Ballast Point beers, Russian River beers, old school Alpine beers, I mean, this was 1987. Like, all those guys were brewing beer after drinking beers like this. It's so good. It's so refreshing. I mean, I would say a couple of these would be palate fatiguing for you just because it's pretty dank and intense on your tongue with the bitterness. But like in the world of just juice haze bros, like this is an awesome like break from that. I've been drinking West Coast style IPA and like been drinking sour stouts. I've totally like gotten away and taken a break from hazy beers just because for the last 3.5 years that's all I drank and I got sick of them. I never got sick of West Coast IPA for whatever reason. It's really weird. But yeah, this beer is awesome. I mean, I'm not going to grade it just because for me it's amazing. This is my favorite beer. So there's not another person in the world that would say this beer is perfect for them. But for me, this is the perfect West Coast IPA. It's under 7%. You can drink a couple of them. You're not going to be shit-faced. It just brings all that awesome like West Coast flavor. I love the dankness. I love the pithiness. I love the citrus aspects. I love that little bit of fruitiness. And there's that killer just malt backbone that balances it all out. This beer is fantastic. So I don't know how wide Pizza Port's distributing, but this is one of those beers, if you can get it fresh, I mean, if you're going to have this for the first time, don't drink it like 2 or 3 months old. Try and get it like within 3 weeks of canning. I mean, this beer is everywhere in Southern California. So if you have a Southern California friend, family member, buddy that you trade with, have them throw this in as an extra as a trade. If you're into West Coast beers or you just want to like get it, maybe you're getting into West Coast beer, who knows at this point in 2019. This is definitely worth checking out. You always hear people saying, I want to try Pliny, I want to try Pliny, I want to try Pliny. Try Swami's. It's awesome. I love this beer so hard. So got Swami's from Pizza Port. I'm ready for Nathan and Brian to spam the comments of this talking shit. They both love this beer and they know it. So seek it out. It's worth your time. So yeah, that's it. I'm out of here, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Cheers.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the views so I can bring back